Good afternoon, everybody. So, welcome to Case Mysteries After Dark. My name is Leatricia, and this is our first segment of 2022. 2023. Happy New Year's, everybody. Um, I'm really going to have to get used to saying 2023 without getting tongue tied into 2022. So, this is our first segment of 2023. And we're going to be talking or speaking in reference to a double homicide, a mother and a son, a 18-year-old black female, and a 6-month-old black male. Okay, so Rhonda Johnson and her 6-month-old son, Cora'n, were found fatally shot in her blue Toyota Camry on September the 12th, 1996, on Greenhart Road between Victoria Street and Diaz Street in Sanford, Connecticut. Okay, so 18-year-old Rhonda had picked up her son from his babysitter home on Oak Lawn Avenue in Sanford around 3:30 p.m. and was scheduled to start her shift at 4 o'clock p.m. at the Sanford Hospital, where she worked as a dietary aide. So the Johnson family grew worried because during that time, her and her mom was sharing a car. So once she got to work, her mom takes the car home along with her son. So the Johnson family grew worried when they learned that she had not shown up for work and had not contacted anybody to explain to why she hadn't shown up or wasn't coming to work. Okay, so a passerby on the Greenheart Road observed Rhonda slumped over the steering wheel of her car and notified emergency services shortly before 8 o'clock p.m. Both Rhonda and her son, Cora'n, were killed by gunshot wounds to the head. Rhonda, a part time college student, was a graduate of West Hill High School in Sanford. Okay, so this all happened September the 12th, 1996, as I stated. All right. So this is a very, I'm not gonna hold you guys on it. This is a very long and um depressing story, but we're going to go through this story with a fine-tooth comb, and you guys can leave me your response in the comment section to what you guys believe happened. So I want you guys to like, share, and comment, and also subscribe to this here channel, and let me know what you guys think. Okay. So Rhonda Johnson could not have known the violent intent of the person she allowed into her car on a September afternoon over a decade ago. Cora'n was strapped in his car seat in the back of the vehicle. All right, as stated to Lieutenant John Farlevo at the time, some are afraid to come forward because of fear of retaliation, retribution, without a doubt. So that's part of the problem in the case. It's understandable some are afraid of certain individuals. So they are afraid that someone will retaliate or come back for them or harm their family members, so they don't want to talk. So the double homicide of Johnson case remains open. So it's still an active case. It's just have been prolonged to become a cold case. Sorry about the noise in the background. I'm at the office right now, so we have people walking in and out of the office. So yeah, the double homicide of Johnson case remains open, as I stated. The details of the heinous crime spelled out in several intensive three-ring binders, shells in the Stanford Police Department Bureau of Criminal Investigations. Basically, is just sitting on the shelf right now. We're not going to say that it is a cold case. It's just stagnant. It's we're waiting for answers. We're waiting for someone to come with that, information to let us know what is actually going on. That may lead to an arrest and a conviction. So that's what we're waiting on. You know, that information. So that information can be very, very um, informative if someone come forward, and it can help the case to bring someone to justice. Um, Unbeknownst to the mother, the Toyota Camry belonged to the mother. Um, Cora'n was not Rhonda's then boyfriend, or the child of her then boyfriend. She was dating in high school. Um, she, she stated Rhonda had a tried one night stand with an old friend, someone from a neighborhood. Okay. Blood tests later revealed Andre Massam to be Coran's father. So just remember that name, Andre Massam. Massam was and continued to be a person of interest for the police in the Johnson's case. Massam reportedly complained of being railroaded by the police and prosecutors during his 2006 hearing because of his suspect involvement in the unsolved murder of Rhonda and Corinne. He told the judge the police was playing hardball and challenged police to arrest me for it, referring to the Johnson's homicide during the sentencing. There's no question that some of the persons of interest have criminal records and some are incarcerated as we speak, stated Lieutenant for Livo. Massam was questioned in the Johnson shooting because of the scenarios and the motive of the case. So on September 11th, 1996, Rhonda Johnson had planned to meet the father of her baby to pick up the babysitting money she often collected from him. And a sticky point between the two occurred to Blanche. He didn't want to pay anything more for the babysitting, and he didn't want his girlfriend or family to know about him. So basically, it was like a double life situation. He didn't want his family or his girlfriend to know about the baby, nor the situation that he was paying for daycare for his child. Um, Rhonda kept saying to her mom, "Promise me, mom, that you won't say anything. They weren't going to tell his family until his birthday on September the 15th. Um, that initial phone call was on Wednesday, but Rhonda received a follow up call asking her to postpone the meeting until the next day, which was September the 12th. So Rhonda obliged, but according to Blanche, tomorrow never came. The next morning, a Thursday, both Rhonda and Blanche, which is her mother, woke at the regular time, with Blanche announcing that she was planning to take the day off because of some problems she was having at work. So her mom stated if she did that, Corinne would not need to go to the babysitter home that day. However, Rhonda reminded her mother that missing work might not be the best idea, and Blanche acquitted and got ready for the office. Okay. Blanche recalled, I said, I'll see you later. And I kissed her goodbye and the baby goodbye. And I went to work. So she went to work. Her mom went to work. And Rhonda dropped her son off to the babysitter. And she went on to meet whomever she was going to meet that day or take care of whatever business at the time that she was going to take care of. Okay. So the plan was for the two to rendezvous at 4 p.m., the time Blanche finished work, and Rhonda start her shift. So Blanche got off of work at 4. Rhonda started work at 4. By 4:15, Blanche knew something had happened to her daughter and feared she might have had an accident. So the mother thought maybe her daughter had had an accident en route to um, to the hospital to pick her up for work. So the mother ultimately had a family member pick her up from work and drive her home. Um, and she stated that she began to panic and started her own research, you know, to locate her daughter at the time. So friends confirmed that they had seen Rhonda earlier, and the babysitter informed that, Rhonda had picked up Corinne before 3 o'clock p.m. as scheduled. And so the mother ended up going back home because she wanted to be there just in case Rhonda called. As she stated that her stomach was in butterflies, and she really thought maybe they had been in a bad accident, noting the time to be between 7 and 7:30. With dusk begin to set in, um, she got a phone call from a friend's mother asking her for the license plates to her car, and it left Blanche in distraught. Like, why would she want my license plates to my car? So a groan on the other end of the connection complied to Blanche out of the house to try to walk off her anxiety. So she walked out the house, to try to walk off her anxiety into why, the friend wanted to know what was her license plate. Another friend later found her on that walk and confirmed that her daughter and grandson were dead. Blanchwood learned the complete horror of those deaths. Far from a fear car accident, Rhonda and Cora'n had been murdered by multiple gunshots, several of which were to the head as they sat in their parked car on the side of Grand Hart Road, stated Lieutenant Farlevo. It, it's a likely scenario that the killer was in the vehicle. So whomever killed these two innocent people, they was in the car with them. So she trusted this person to have this person in the car with her and her child. So therefore, that means that she knew the person. And yes, there was a thought put into it. Some planning went into this. It is not hard to figure out who killed her daughter and grandson because of the circumstances surrounding Rhonda's last days and the route she traveled on the day of the murder. She maintained that the police as well known the identity of the killer. So, as the mother stated, it wasn't in thought to who killed them. They already knew. They already had in mind. They already knew the situation. They already knew who did it because of the route that she had and took. They already knew because of where the car was and and the and the date of the murder. So all they had to do is basically let the police know the situation to hopes that they get a arrest. She maintained that the police as well known the identity of the killer, so therefore they knew who the person was. It continues to baffle her that no arrest had been made after all these years, given the investigation that ensued in days and weeks followed the almost unimaginable execution of her daughters and grandson. Police thought they had enough evidence to convict, but the state attorney felt that the evidence wasn't enough. I think their hands are tied, and I think they know who did this. The police hands are tied because without enough evidence, they can't make a conviction. And if they try to convict this person without enough evidence, they can get an overturned conviction and then they won't be able to convict him on the same thing because that'll be double jeopardy. You can't convict a person twice. You can't charge a person twice for the same thing. So they have to be very, very careful to how they handle the case in order for them to get the proper conviction. So this is why this case had been so stagnant the way that it has been. According to Lieutenant Forlivo, the case is still missing a little something, just a little something, just to get this person convicted. The, as he stated, we tried re-interviewing witnesses or persons of interest as recently as last year. That was like 1997 or 2001, maybe. Despite the effort and a seeming breakthrough in October 2001, when now retired Stanford Police Captain Frank Langan contacted the FBI for assistance in re examining the physical evidence retrieved from the crime scene, the case remains at an impasse. The forensic evidence was analyzed at the FBI's lab in Virginia. The results were that we came up with no evidence to link a suspect with the crime. There were no match. No word on whether the murder weapon was ever recovered, but reports have linked Kenneth Brickhouse, also a Stanford resident, to the gun used in the Johnson's murder, an allegation that has yet to be confirmed by the police. Brickhouse allegedly told prosecutors that he may have supplied that gun. Brickhouse is serving 17 years in McKean Federal Prison in Bradford, Pennsylvania, on drug trafficking and firearm charges. He is due to be released in 2014. Brickhouse has a posting on a website that is pen pal service for inmates, featuring their photographs and requests for female correspondence. Massam and Brickhouse were associates. Was associates. That individual's name comes up in their investigation, and he's been a person of interest. As for motive, again, Lieutenant Farlavio declined comment. Okay, so as we know that the father basically didn't want anything to do with the son, his son. She was supposed to then go and meet with him in reference to coming down with some type of plan with him about their child. The day that she's supposed to have met with him, that's the same day that she was murdered. So, as her mother stated, there's no coincidence that this happened in the route that she took and the day that she was murdered. Everybody know what happened, and for her to she's just not going to have anybody in the car with her and her child. So she had to trust that person and know that person for her to have that person in the car with them. So basically, allegedly, this man shot and killed this 18-year-old woman and his son because he didn't want his family nor his girlfriend to know about them. He was refusing to pay babysitting fees ever again because he didn't want his family to know about this child. So he did everything in his possible given life to make sure that that never came out. And so Brickhouse stated that he may have had something to do with the gun. And Brickhouse and Massam are associates. So you put two and two together, the same gun that allegedly killed these two people is the same gun that allegedly Brickhouse had some association with, and he associated himself with the father of this child. So it don't take a rocket scientist to know that this man had something to do with the murder of these two innocent people. But as they stated, It's just a piece of a puzzle that they are lacking, and people just not coming forward to say anything. And just like I have said in all of my segments, if you know something, say something. I mean, these are two beautiful souls that have lost their lives over what? Because a man don't want to step up and take care of his responsibilities, or a man don't want to step up and be truthful to what he need to be truthful to, because he laid down and got this child, and now he don't want his family to know about this child. So you live in a double life. You don't want nobody to know about this child. So now you felt like this child's life and this young lady's life was unworthy to be lived because of your negligence. So this family lost not only a daughter, a sister, a mother, a granddaughter, but they also lost a grandson, a son, a nephew in the midst of all of this. And I mean, like, it's just sad that this case has gone on and unresolved this long because of a piece of evidence that's holding this puzzle from getting solved. I mean, you guys might as well just pull that trigger yourself. You holding on to this valuable information. These are two lives that have been lost, and the family has lost their loved ones because of a selfish person not wanting someone to know that he has a child. This child didn't ask to come in this world. All of this could have been prevented. So, I mean, if you know something, say something and help this family get the justice that they need, and convict this person that it held let's hold this person accountable for his crime and get this person convicted. He's walking around here free, and he has murdered two innocent people because of his selfish reasons. So let's bring justice to this family and to the victim. So I want to say Happy New Year. Thank you guys for listening to Cold Case Mysteries After Dark. And thank you guys so much for being such a listening ear. This year will be a great year for all of us. Click like, subscribe, comment. Make sure you do subscribe. It will be more to come from Cold Case Mysteries. Definitely planning a lot of segments throughout this year. And as I stated, no case will go unturned. We will continue to bring light to these cases and bring light to these victims. Thank you for joining me. My name is Latricia. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day and Happy New Year.